Hi everybody, welcome to this web design tutorial. Today we're going to look at a useful tool that will help you plan ahead when you're working on web design projects, and we'll also look at a very useful resource provided by W3 Schools to help us with layout of a web page. The planning tool is called a wireframe, and it's just a very basic idea of how you want to lay out your web page. You can do it by hand. You can do this on with pencil and paper. I'm using Adobe Illustrator, but whatever tool you use, you can just draw out the basic idea of your design idea. This is really useful if you're working for a customer or you're working with more web designers. You can share your design ideas before you actually start coding. So ultimately, it may save you time. Now, if we look at this design idea, we can see that there are 5 rows in the web page. The top row has the menu bar. The second row has the title. The third row has 4 images. So we can see this row has 4 columns. The fourth row has some text, and the fifth row has 5 columns. So we're starting to think about breaking our web design into rows and columns. So let's look at how to do that using a useful tool provided by W3 Schools. Before we get started with that, I just want to show you that I've already downloaded the image files and traveltheworld.html from the Mr. Moosey site and put that into a project folder. So please make sure you get yourself organized before we start. Okay, let's have a look at how we can design a web page with 5 rows. Now, traveltheworld.html, if you've downloaded it and opened it in a text editor, you will see this line of code. This is a link to W3's CSS file. This is amazing. There's a load of CSS that you can use in your web designs. So let's get started with how to use this amazing resource. I'm just going to put a comment here into my web page. That's how to do a comment in HTML. And here I'm going to have row 1. Then I'm going to do row 2. Then I'm going to have row 3. And then I'm going to have row 4. And then I'm going to have row 5. Okay. So we're going to divide our web page into rows. And this class, W3Row, is in this file here. I did not design this class, okay? So I'm going to take that code. This is 1 row. I'm going to copy that. And just under the row 2 comment, I'm just going to paste that again. That's the second row. Then let's do that again. That's the third row. That's the fourth row. And that's the 5th row. Okay? So we've divided our page into 5 rows. Now, to show you that this is working, let's put some text into here. I'm just going to put hello for now. And let's do that. And I'm going to add a new class here, W3 Orange, and into this one, W3 Red. Okay. So let's save that and refresh the page. There you go. I've got 2 rows. I've got my orange row and I've got my red row. Okay. Now, if we go back to my design idea, the second row, I wanted to have the text travel the world. So let's do that. This is row 2. So we'll save that and refresh the page. Now I want it to be in the center, so I'm going to add another W3 class. Notice how we can just add class names. We can make a list of them. Okay, if you need to use a class, just add it to the list. There's a class called W3 Center. So let's save that and refresh. There we go. Now let's go to the third row. The third row is going to have 4 images. And I'm going to put these images into columns. Column 1, column 2, column 3, and column 4. So this is row 3. Let's just go into row 3. Here we are. We're going to divide this row into columns. Now I'm going to tell you something that is a little bit hard to understand when you see this for the first time. Okay? But I'm going to design this web page for medium devices such as iPads, and this column is going to take up 3 of the available spaces in the row. So here's a row, and this is a column inside the row. Now, in W3 CSS, a row can have a maximum of 12 columns. That's the maximum. So if I say this column is 3, this takes up 3 of those 12 spaces. This takes up 3, so that's 6. This takes up 3, so that's 9. And this takes up 3, that'll be 12. I've taken up all of the available spaces in the row. Okay? Now we'll see how this works in a moment. Let's use the image tag. And we're going to put into this image tag img-1.jpg. That's the source. img-1.jpg. Now let's save that. Refresh the page. Whoa! The image is really big. It's really big. It's too big for the column. The column only takes up 3 of the 12 spaces. Okay, so what I'm going to do, in this image here, I'm going to apply a class. And it's the W3-image class. Okay, so let's save that and refresh. Yay! It worked. Now, let's drag this out. So here is a row. There are 12 available column spaces, and this is taking up 3 of them. Okay? So, in this row, this is row number 3. I'm going to copy this column code. This is one column. Let's make another column for image 2, and another column for image 3, and another column for image 4. Okay, we'll save that, we'll refresh the page, and let's see if it worked. Yeah, all right, it worked. Now, very quickly, what I'm going to do is try and explain row number 4. Row number 4, if you remember, has 5 buttons. North America, South America, Europe, Africa, and Asia. I'm going to make these buttons. So I'm going to make 5 columns in this row. W3 col. We're planning for medium devices like iPads, and we've got 5 of them with only 12 available spots. So let's make each one a width of 2. That will take up 10 of the available 12 slots, if you see what I mean. So there's a column. Okay, I'm going to use this column for the North American button. Okay, I'm going to put a button into this column. So let's do that. Let's go into the column and create a button. Class equals, you've guessed it, W3 button. And let's put in the text North America. So there's one column inside the fourth row. This is the fourth row here. All of this stuff here. That's the fourth row. And inside the row, we have our first column, which is taking up 2 of the available 12 spaces. Let's do 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There was North America, there was South America, there was Europe, there was Africa, and there was Asia. So let's save that and refresh the page. Just going to give it a bit more width. Yay! Those are my... Oh, there you go. So I've got my buttons there. I want to give each of them a color, actually. So let's add another class to the button. This is the button. W3 button, W3 red. W3 button, W3 green. W3 button, W3 blue. W3 button, W3 pink. W3 button, I'm just making this up now. W3, give me another color, let's do purple. Okay, so each button is a button, and I'm giving it a color. Let's save that and refresh the page. Yay! Now it looks a little bit weird. We'll have to figure out if we can figure out how to give that, how to make that a little bit more balanced. But you can see we've got rows and columns as we design our web page. Have a go. See if you can figure it out.